Those, and Elizabeth, you were pointing out to me, one's not far from RDU Airport.
That's right. You can see this here just to the north and west of Raleigh and really moving into Durham County pretty rapidly, just kind of past the airport there. I want to start with a big view because that's not the only one out there. We have a little line that's starting to develop from Sanford down here through parts of Moore County, a cell that's likely to start popping up here in parts of Sampson County, moving through Johnston and Wayne counties, and there certainly will be plenty more as we get through the afternoon. The best chance of severe storms will be north and east of the triangle. That's where we have a level 2 risk for severe storms later on. And certainly wind damage is a possibility, but this also looks like it could be a fairly efficient hail creator as well. Lots and lots of lightning with this system. You can see it started here just north of Apex. It's moving almost what we call training, seeing another cell developing behind it and moving across the same area. So very heavy rain here, and hail is developing along with some lightning. So you can see here south and east of Durham, that's moving up across Durham right now. We'll sort of change the view up a little bit, and you can see the purple shaded area. That's where we have hail. This is half-inch hail, and that's still fairly big. That's going to be, say pea-sized hail. Quarter-sized hail at an inch is considered severe, and so we may end up seeing a severe thunderstorm warning from this system if that hail looks like it's getting any larger. We've also looked at the potential for a little rotation in this system, but nothing that's reaching the criteria for a severe storm just yet. But I wouldn't be surprised in a few minutes if we don't see a warning placed on this one. Lots of lightning right here, 37 strikes right here around that system. So a pretty dangerous one right there, moving across Durham and then just southeast of Durham. Between noon and 6 p.m. is when we're going to see the best chance of the potential for damaging winds and hail out of this system. And of course, we take a look at some of the cameras. This one is just past the airport, and you can see how dark that cloud is there. Not raining at the airport, but just to the west of the airport. Let's talk about Futurecast. And Futurecast, of course, starts to show some cells popping up. By 12:30, even more of them show up here on Futurecast. And as we move on through the afternoon, we're going to continue to see more of this developing. And again, the greatest threat may end up being up here from Rocky Mountain north and east, where that level 2 risk is. And some of that big threat could end up being some hail. After that, it starts to move out. And we'll talk a bit more about what happens after this system finally moves out coming up.
You will want to stay ahead of any severe weather by downloading the WRAL News app. You can sign up for push alerts to get them straight to your home screen. It is free to download.
It's WRAL Weather Alert Day, and we have dangerous storms moving through. We just got issued a new warning, and Elizabeth Gardner is tracking that and lets us know what the impacts are. Elizabeth.
So it's mainly a hail event, but we are watching for some strong winds that could cause some damage. The winds just about 10 minutes ago were more like 35, 40 miles an hour. Now we're seeing some indications of 60-mile-per-hour winds, which would be severe. So this is looking like a wind and a hail event. Let's talk about where it is. And you can see it covers Apex almost down to Holly Springs, so the northwestern and western portion of Wake County here. Also just east of Chapel Hill, almost all of Durham County, and then a portion of Granville County, a small portion of Chatham County as well. So you can see here who's affected by this. We've been picking up hail that would be also severe criteria. We're seeing the potential for 1-inch hail out of the system too. So let's back this out. I'm going to loop this for you again, and you can just sort of see what the big picture is happening here. Lots of lightning with this, and you can see it's just one of several cells that are out here, and this is going to be the beginning of what may end up being a fairly busy afternoon with these storms. So we'll take a look again, kind of go a little bit closer in, and you can see how much lightning there is with this system. The severe thunderstorm warning expires at 12:45, so it is with us for almost another 45 minutes or so, a little bit under that. But a pretty strong storm here. I'm going to take a look at a different view, and we'll take a look at where some of that hail potential is, and the winds as well. So you can see that 1-inch hail, and that's going to be just south of Durham, but this cell is moving northward. So if you're east of Durham, you may run into 1-inch hail. What does 1-inch hail look like? It's the size of a quarter. We've had several hailstorms over the last couple of weeks, and they've done some hail damage to cars, damage to trees, and of course to crops in the field. So just note that you could see some damage when we see that severe hail, which is up to 1 inch. And again, lots and lots of lightning with this system too. We're looking now at 81 lightning strikes right here within this area that we're looking at. So lots of dangerous lightning. And again, we're going to continue to see more of these cells popping up across our area. I'm going to back it out again, just take another look at exactly where this is. So Durham County north and north of Durham up toward Creedmoor, and then south and east of Durham as well. We could actually go ahead and put a track on this too. I'm going to change this up just a little bit. I'm going to take off the box here because it's a lot to look at here. So I'm going to take the watches and warnings off really quickly, and let's see, and then we'll take a look at a track of this as well. We'll go over here and see if we can get a track of it. Here we go. All right, let's move this back to reflectivity and move this up here. So it's moving to the northeast, and as it continues to move on up to the northeast, we're looking at the potential for, let's move that out of the way and try this again. All right. All we have showing up here is Creedmoor at about 1238, but there are definitely a lot of communities here in the eastern part of Durham County on up toward Stem, Creedmoor there in Granville County. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. We're seeing 1-inch hail and the potential for winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, which can knock down trees. So just be careful in this area. We're going to continue to watch it. The warning's in effect until 1245, and we may see more warnings on this cell as it goes forward and some others that are starting to pop up across the area.
Pick there, airport, Bull City, right behind us here, Durham, dark clouds everywhere, part of this WRAL Weather Alert day.
Yeah, one storm cell fired up quickly, and it is intense. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to show us where that is again and where it's headed.
We'll start with a wide view again, and you can see where this is. So parts of Wake County and Durham County in particular, it is moving northward. So folks in Granville County and certainly up toward Person County, you need to be aware. It's moving really out of Chatham County at this point, but it is redeveloping sort of along the same line. We call that training. When we see a cell develop, it moves forward and another redevelops in the place where it was, and it just keeps on moving down the line like a train. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 1245. We're seeing large hail with this and the potential for wind damage with winds up to 60 plus miles per hour. So again, this is the warning that's in effect until about 1245. So you can see another redeveloping cell that's going to be just north of Apex, moving up 540 up toward Durham, and then of course this stronger cell too. This is the one that's been producing some larger hail, some hail at about 1 inch in diameter. An official report of 3/4 of an inch hail is going to be just south and east of Durham, but we've had some radar estimates of 1 inch hail. And you can see that again right here south and east of Durham. That's where the most intense part of this cell is. This is a look at where the hail has been. And you can see as it starts to turn black, that's where we're seeing it really large. Again, say estimate of 1 inch or larger. And just west of Apex, same story. That next cell headed up toward Creedmoor. Lots and lots of lightning with this as well. 116 strikes. So this is a very intense looking and feeling system. We're going to have the potential for some wind damage and some hail damage as well. I saw some car hail damage just over the weekend from one of the storms that we had recently. So if you have a garage to put your car in, that's going to be a great thing to do if you have that opportunity. But this is not a system that you want to be outside during. We have the potential for some rotation to happen in a strong storm like this as well. So just be careful and make sure you're in a safe place. It's a level 2 risk for our north and eastern counties from Wilson County northward all the way up toward Halifax and Northampton counties. And it's a level 1 risk from Raleigh down toward Fayetteville. And certainly that is verifying as we're seeing some strong storms developing already. So level 1 and 2 severe threat for today all the way through the afternoon with wind and hail damage potentially along and east of US 1, especially up here north and east of the triangle. So we are looking here. The reason that that threat is higher the farther east you go is we have more moisture in the atmosphere and there's more instability here. We've started to see a slightly more stable air mass moving in, say, to the western part of the state, but that is not really keeping us from having some of these stronger storms. This is 1:15 and plenty of storms still developing. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, at that point, a lot of this is moving into our north and eastern counties, but still the potential really all the way through around 5 or 6 o'clock this evening to continue to see some cells that could produce some damage. Some pretty dramatic cameras too here as we look past the DBAP. You can see the dark clouds here over Durham, 77 degrees with a dew point of 60. So it's, you know, on the warmer side with some moisture in the atmosphere for sure. Highs in the upper 70s to low 80s for us this afternoon. Once all this moves out, we're going to get a break for a little while. It's going to be a cool start for both Tuesday and Wednesday morning with highs near 80 degrees and then another chance of rain on Friday. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Durham County, parts of Wake and Chatham counties, as well as Granville County. And we'll check back in on that again in just a few minutes. It expires at 12:45.